Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NatureCity podcast. I'm Carl Perdelli, your host, and also the CEO and co-founder of the company. 20 years ago, my wife Beth and I started NatureCity, and since then, it's been our pleasure to serve about 500,000 Americans by offering them the best supplements we can make. This week's episode is part 2 of our series on the aloe vera plant. If you didn't hear last week's episode, or even if you did, I want to do a quick recap of what we discussed as we get into today's discussion. The first thing we talked about with aloe vera is how it's very biologically complex, over 200 different nutritional compounds, but most of these are in very smaller or trace levels. And the real brilliance of aloe vera is how these nutrients work together. So it's very important that when your supplement contains these nutrients, and what's done before you take the supplement is with the mind of protecting all of these nutrients. The second thing we talked about was the 4 ways that aloe vera works to help support different functions in your body. There's the antioxidant activity. There's the ability to help support a healthy inflammation response. It helps balances different functions in your body, and also helps support metabolic health, which is so important as we age. Lastly, we also got into some of the benefits. Talked about how taking an aloe vera supplement may help your digestion, your joint health, your cardiovascular and heart health, help support and maintain healthy blood sugar levels, how it can maybe help your skin's appearance, and how it even may help your oral health inside your mouth and teeth and gums. So now the question is, how do we choose a good aloe vera supplement, and what do we look for? It's not as easy as you hear today. I mean, there's some real things. We're a little bit of perfectionists when it comes to aloe. As I mentioned, our first 2 company products at NatureCity were aloe-based, and we always have strived really to offer our clients the best aloe we can find, the best aloe products we can make. There's some very good aloe products out there, but there's also a lot that surprisingly are inferior in many ways, or just kind of subpar, low quality. And I hope to help you identify the good ones versus the bad ones. So first, it's important to make sure your aloe is from the Aloe barbadensis malar species. Aloe barbadensis malar species. Okay, this is believed to be the most potent of the aloe species, and more importantly, it's the most scientifically studied of the aloe vera species. We only use the Aloe barbadensis malar species in our products here at NatureCity, and we suggest that's what you look for. Next, where is your aloe grown, and how is it grown? We in our products we use certified organic aloe vera, just so it's free of any pesticides, herbicides, chemicals, and chemical fertilizers. In our view, the best organic aloe vera for supplements is grown in the Tamaulipas state in northeastern part of Mexico. And that's where the farms we use, where we source our aloe vera for TrueAloe and AloeCran. Those are our 2 main aloe supplements. This is our AloeCran drink powder, and this is our TrueAloe capsules. That's where we get the aloe from. Now, as I understand it, the name Tamaulipas, I think. Sorry. Let's try that again. As I understand it, the name Tamaulipas loosely translates to land of high mountains, and nestled between these mountains is a small town called Hamave, where the largest certified organic aloe field in the world resides. I think they're up to 1,000 acres of aloe vera plants. Just to give you a sense where I'm talking about geographically, it's about 120 miles, if you could picture a map, 120 miles south of the southeastern Texas border, and probably about 80 miles from the Gulf Coast. And what's great about this location, it really has ideal conditions for growing aloe vera. Very far from any industrial pollution, has has a really nice mineral-rich soil, which the aloe plant loves. Plenty of natural spring water and also rainwater that comes down from the surrounding mountains. So drought, conditions really are never an issue. Plenty of sun, which is another important ingredient. And there's really no need for those pesticides and herbicides and chemical fertilizers that that I mentioned before, which made it very easy for this farm to attain USDA certified organic certification. What's also important is the harvesting of the aloe leaves once they're mature, and the filleting of these leaves is done by hand. Okay, when you put all this together, this results in a very pure and potent aloe vera, which is what we want. And as I mentioned, maybe I didn't mention, this is where the aloe for our TrueAloe capsules comes from. Now, also important when choosing aloe and aloe supplement is to understand what happens after harvest. Okay, after an aloe leaf is cut from the plant, the nutrients will start to degrade in a few hours. Okay, so that's why it's important that the aloe leaves are transported to a nearby facility where they can undergo what's really the dehydration process, basically removing the water, cutting the leaves and then removing the water, from the aloe, fillets, inner gel, if you will, to where you're left with the aloe powder that we're looking for our supplements. With our supplements, we use aloe vera that's processed within 2 or 3 hours of harvesting, and more importantly, or as important, I should say, to remove the water, we use patented freeze-dried methods. I shouldn't say we. Our supplier partners use patented freeze-dried methods with low heat temperature that helps remove the water while protecting all those important aloe nutrients. Remember, it's how the nutrients work together in aloe vera that really helps helps maximize its potency and efficacy. So it's really important. I mean, if you use high heat, which is the cheapest and quickest way to do it, and that's why I shouldn't say a lot, but there's aloe people out there in the aloe business who will use the cheaper methods to do this. Unfortunately, that destroys a lot of the enzymes and other nutrients in the aloe vera plant, leaving you with an aloe supplement that's probably not going to lead up to your expectations, and certainly wouldn't lead up to NatureCity's expectations. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, and you may be saying, well, geez, how do I figure all this out? Well, it's always good to do research about the supplements you take, which is one of the reasons we do these podcasts. But another way with aloe to help you is there's a great independent industry association called the International Aloe Science Council, or the AISC. They kind of serve as an independent industry watchdog. And, what's great about one of the things they do is they test the aloe from different farms and in different products to make sure one is pure, and also verify the content of the aloe vera to make sure it really is aloe vera. When we first started this business, when we first started NatureCity 20 years ago, a big problem was counterfeiting of aloe. There'd be a lot of aloe materials in the marketplace that were cut with a starch, like maltodextrin, for example. And it was easy to fool the tests that were being used back then, so it wasn't always evident that you were buying something that really was kind of cut with starch as opposed to being the pure aloe vera you were expecting. Okay, if it's certified by the International Aloe Science Council, you can be assured that you're getting a true aloe vera product. They certify for purity and content, so counterfeit aloe is never an issue with an AISC certified aloe vera ingredient or product. Now, the next point here is really, really important because if we sometimes you'll hear someone had a bad experience with aloe, some type of reaction, and look, it's true that someone could have a sensitivity or even an outright allergy to almost anything, right? And probably aloe vera is not is not is not unique in that regard. It is possible that aloe may not agree with you, but that we found that to be pretty rare. What often happens is when someone takes an aloe vera supplement and has a bad reaction, often that product contained compounds which are known as anthraquinones. Okay, types of anthraquinones are called amodin and aloin. Okay, and that's why it's very important that your aloe supplement does not contain these compounds. Excuse me. Now, these compounds are found in what's called the aloe latex of the plant. Okay, this is a yellow-colored sap that kind of resides outside the gel. If you ever seen a picture of an aloe vera plant, there's a big meaty inner gel that's usually the basis for aloe vera supplements and other products made with aloe vera. Outside that gel is this yellow aloe latex layer, which contains these compounds we don't want. So when your aloe vera is being processed, again, the cheaper way sometimes is just to process it all together, right? They cut the leaves and put it all and mash it up and dehydrate it, and you end up with a product which contains these unwanted compounds. One of the things that's great about the IASC, when you have their certification, they're checking for levels of these compounds. You really want no more than trace amounts in your product. I think their standard is 10 parts per million, which they find acceptable. I can tell you NatureCity supplements routinely test below 1 part per million. So we're well below that 10 parts per million standard, which is a good thing. The last item on your aloe vera supplement checklist is the amount of aloe actually in the product. This just requires looking a little carefully at the supplement facts panel on the back. Okay. Usually aloe is presented as a 200-to-1 extract, and that's simply because the inner gel that I was just referring to is actually 99.5% water and only 0.5% solids. So that's where this 200-to-1 ratio comes, right? So for every 100 parts, only a half a part is aloe solids, and that's how they get to 200-to-1. However, surprisingly, I find many products that are woefully inadequate in how much aloe you get. It's not, I've seen many leading products that only give you about 25 milligrams of this extract, maybe 50 milligrams. Frankly, in my view, having studied a lot of research and so on, that's probably not going to give you the benefit you're seeking. Okay, to give you a reference, in TrueAloe, which is our capsule product, the daily amount of aloe you get is 800 milligrams. Okay, you take 4 very small 200 milligram capsules, and you get 800 milligrams, which should hopefully help you give you most of the benefits you are seeking. 25 to 50, 100 milligrams. Probably not enough in my view. TrueAloe is really kind of one of our premier. We call it the gold standard of aloe vera capsules because it really checks all these boxes. It's organic, certified by the International Aloe Science Council, gives you 800 milligrams of aloe a day, and also has less than 1 parts per million of those unwanted anthraquinones, which is as good as it pretty much gets. Now, some people prefer to drink their aloe, and that's why we created the AloeCran drink powder. In here, you basically have 200 milligrams per serving or per scoop of organic aloe, which is equivalent to about 1.3 ounces of kind of fresh aloe, fresh squeezed aloe gel. Some people call it juice. It's not technically a juice, but if you would squeeze the aloe gel, a lot of times people are looking for get about an ounce or an ounce. This gives you about 1.3 ounces per scoop. We also add some cranberry for extra antioxidant benefits. If you're interested in learning more about the AloeCran cranberry in here. Please look at our first episode where we talk a lot about cranberry and AloeCran specifically. In addition to the aloe and cranberry, you get 5 grams of fiber in here, right? Many of us fall short on fiber. Also very important to get for digestion and cardiovascular health. And whereas many other aloe drinks, specifically like a lot of the drinks I see for sales, the ready-made drinks, they're kind of loaded with sugar, which unfortunately defeats the purpose, in my view, to help. If you're looking for health properties of aloe, adding sugar kind of, taints that. Instead of sugar, we add fiber. Okay, and you can drink multiple servings a day. We have many clients. Some people drink one. Some people, drink more than that. So, I probably drink 3 or 4 a day myself. And then I mentioned we also have a couple other aloe vera products. We have our topical aloe gel. Okay, many of us know aloe for being used topically. This gel, again, it's organic aloe vera. That's a double strength gel. Okay, that means it contains twice the concentration of aloe as you would see in a regular standard single strength aloe vera topical gel. So pretty potent. I love to use it after I shave. It really soothes the skin and it helps add some moisture, but you can use it for a lot of different ways to help your skin also. And then we have an aloe soap, which is also something that many of our clients enjoy. Besides aloe, has many essential oils, vegetable glycerin base. It's really one of those things where the first time you use it, like, wow, this is great. And you're like, I just want to keep using this soap. Also lasts a very long time too. So that's really our kind of aloe products. And again, we take a lot of care, and we always, try to give you the best aloe products, best products in general at NatureCity, but certainly with respect to aloe, since it is a good part of our kind of history and heritage, we're extra careful to seek perfection. So that's it for this week's episode. Hopefully you found this useful. We'd appreciate it if you can subscribe to the YouTube channel to see future episodes. You can listen to this podcast on your favorite streaming services. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're also on Google Podcasts. So this is Carl Pradelli, and I will see you next week.